Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of the Greek New Testament, and I'm reading 1 Corinthians up to chapter 14, which is quite a long chapter, and verse 20. Adelphoi me paidia gineste tais fresin ala te kakia ne piazdete, tais de fresin telei gineste, en ton nomo gegraptai hoti, en heteroglossois kai en kalesin heteron laleso to lao tuto kai ud hutos eis akusontaimou lege kurios. Might just do that little bit there. So brethren, we get may plus an imperative, present imperative. So do not become, so do not be, paidia, children, this is plural from paidion, tais phresin, in your minds. This is from phrein, this is the dative plural, phrein, and then phresin is the dative plural, in your minds. Allah, but, ne piazdete, this is a hapax legomenon, in other words, the word only appears here, but the meaning's very clear. It's from that napion root. So do not be an infant. But be an infant, I should say. Te kakia, in regard to wickedness. So do not be children in your minds, but behave like children when it comes to wickedness. And be perfect in your minds. En ton nomo gegraptai, it is written in the law. Well, it's from Deuteronomy, I think 28:49, but it also, the quotation, I think, is from Isaiah 28, which is actually not the law, but the prophets. But he may have in mind Deuteronomy 28:49 as well. It's written in the law, en heteroglossis. Now this is from hetero, different, and glossa, a tongue. So, and the main verb is here. I will speak in different tongues and with the lips of others to this people, and not even then in this way will they listen to me. So kalesin is the dative plural from the third declension noun kalos, a lip, and so the rest of it I think is fairly clear. So I will speak in different tongues and with the lips of others to this people, and not even then, and then we get hutos, which is not in the Septuagint, and even then they will not hear me. Future from eis akuo goes into the middle, says the Lord. The kurios without the article generally refers to Yahweh. Hoste hai glossai eis semeon esti, ou tois pistuusin ala tois apistois, he de prophetea, ou tois apistois ala tois pistuusin. Ean un sunelthe he ecclesia hole epi to auto kai pantes lelos sin glossais, eis elthos sin de idiotai e apistoi, uk erusin hoti minesta the, ean de pantes prophetuosin eis elthe de tis apistos e idiotes, elenketai hupapanton, anakrinatai hupapanton, ta krupta tes kardias autu phaneraginatai, kai hutos pison epi prosopon proskunese to theo, ap angelon hoti ontos hotheos en humin estin. So that, with the result that, so that tongues are as a sign, or for a sign, not to the ones believing, this is a dative plural present participle from pistuo, not to the ones believing, but to the ones who are disbelieving. But prophecy is not for the ones disbelieving, but for those who are believing. So we get these datives here. Ean un sunelthe he ecclesia, for the whole assembly. So if therefore the whole assembly, sunelthe, subjunctive from sunerthemai, might come together. Now epi-auto, we have seen this idiom before, literally to the same place, and so hence it's just idiomatic for together. It's slight pleonasm here because we've got the togetherness in the sun here. But so if the whole assembly might come together and all are speaking in tongues, and now here we get this funny use of idiotai again from idiotes, a private citizen. It's almost someone who is checking them out, looking to see what they're about, but who's not part of the community, a Christian community there. So if a private citizen, or perhaps an outsider, might enter in, or, and that's plural here, if outsiders or unbelievers might enter in, will they not say, there's that future from ero from Lego, will they not say that you are crazy from mainamai? So that's the verb to be mad, to be crazy. So will I not say that you are crazy? But if all prophetuosin might prophesy, a certain unbeliever or idiotes, well, private citizen, however you're going to translate this, outsider, as elthe might come in, he will be elenketai, convicted or reproved by all things. Could be by all people. It's not clear whether it's a personal thing or a neuter thing here. Elenko is to reprove, and this is the passive, so, or to convict of something. So he will be convicted by all, and he will be, well, perhaps judged, put on trial almost by all. And then the secret things of his heart, and we get a neuter plural singular verb, are becoming manifest, becoming clear. So the secret things of his heart are being made public almost. And thus, peson, aorist participle from pipto, having fallen down, epi face, proskenese, future from proskuneo, he will worship God, it takes a dative, reporting or saying or announcing that, and then we get, this is inverted commas in here, because the editors put a capital O to help us here with this. Ontos is an adverb. It's formed from the participle of the verb to be. So it's own, and then onta, ontos, in the genitive is the participle from the verb to be, and he's made it into an adverb, which actually happens, it's elsewhere in Greek. It means in reality or truly. So in reality, God is en humin, among you. Tiun estin, we've seen that expression before, one of Paul's little expressions. What then, O brethren? So it's literally, what is it then, brethren? So we would just say, what then? Hoten, in other words, what will I say almost, brethren? Hotan sun ekeste, hekastos psalmon eke, didache eke, apokalupson eke, glosan eke, hermenean eke, pantapros oikodomen ginesto, te glose tis lale, kata duo e topleston tres, kai anameros, kai heis, di hermenueto. Pause there. So what then, my brethren? Whenever you come together, each person eke has psalmon, a psalm. Of course, it's just cognate with our modern word psalm. It's connected with psallo, as I mentioned before, as a verb meaning to sing. So a psalm is just a song which is sung. It comes into English as a psalm. Each one has a psalm or a song. Each one has didakein, a teaching. Each one has a revelation. Each one has a tongue. Each one has hermeneuon, an interpretation. Abstract noun here, hermeneia, first declension feminine. Panta pros oikodomen genestho, imperative here. So let all things, neuter plural singular verb, so let all things be pros oikodomen, for the purpose of edification. Or perhaps the pros can often have the sense of with a view to. With a view to. So let all things be with a view to edification. Now we get an ate, but we don't only get one of these. So whether someone speaks in a tongue, we have to supply an imperative here, or something like let them speak kata duo in groups of two, or for the most part three. In other words, let them speak in by twos, or at most by threes, kai anameros, and in order. This is again idiomatic. It's shared about, it really is the sense of it, in order, in part, and let one of them interpret. So imperative here from dia hermenuo. So if someone might speak in a tongue, let it be by twos or at most threes, and anameros, and in turn. So it's one after the other, I think is the sense of anameros here. And let one interpret. Ean de me di hermeneutes sigato en ecclesia iauto de laleto kai to theo prophetai de duo et tres laletosan kai hoi aloi dia quin etosan ean de allo apocalyphthe kathe meno hoprotos sigato dunes thiga kath hinapantes prophetuain hinapantes manthanosi kai pantes parakalontai kai pneumata propheton prophetais hypotacetai uga estin a katastasias hothios ala erenes. So ean de me, but if there might not be, that's the subjunctive from the verb to be here. So if there might not be, understand, present, de hermeneutes, first declension masculine, an interpreter, formed from de hermenuo, this is just the person who interprets. Sigato, let him be silent, imperative here from sigao is the verb. There are two verbs to be quiet in Greek. There's sigao, an alpha contract verb, and siopao, another alpha contract verb. And sigar still survives, I think, in modern Greek. Sigar is to shut up or be quiet. So let him be quiet, en ecclesia, in the church. But leleto, another imperative, these are all third person singular imperatives. Let him speak to himself and to God. Prophetai de duo, so now this is the subject. We get a third person plural imperative. Now, as I may have mentioned before, the third person in plural imperatives in New Testament Greek are different endings from what you get in classical Greek. It's one of the rare occasions where the actual accidence is different between classical and it's on tone in classical Greek from memory, and it's tosan, etosan is the ending in biblical Greek. So if you're a classical Greek student, just note this is a different form here. So let the prophets speak, 2 or 3 understand at a time, and the others let them make judgment, or let them make discernment, perhaps for diakrinetosa. This is the same thing, the etosan ending, third person plural imperative. These are present imperatives too, by the way. Aean de, but if, now this is a little bit tricky here, if something is revealed, so if something, and we're not told what it is, if something understood is revealed, and this is a passive, aorist passive subjunctive from apokalupto, if something is revealed to another person who is sitting, perhaps sitting nearby, so if something is, it's very obscure this bit here, if something is revealed to someone else who is sitting, perhaps nearby, let the first person, sigato, be silent. Again, you can look at the commentaries to expound this a little bit more. Dunastega, for all of you are able to prophesy, kath hena, I think that means one by one. So you're all able to prophesy, but one by one. Hina, in order that all might learn, from menthano, and all, parakalontai, from parakaleo, it's a passive here, all might be encouraged. Perhaps receive encouragement. Kai pneumata propheton, for the spirits of prophets, neuter plural singular verb, hupotasso is to be subject to. So the spirits of prophets are subject to prophets. Uga est in arcatastasias, for, now the estin, we're going to take with theos, I think. For God is not understand a God of, this is an abstract noun of disorder or commotion, but a God of peace. So for God is not a God of commotion, but of peace. This is another one of these abstract noun, first declension, arcatastasis. I think it's a fairly late noun, so it's arcatastasia is the noun here. So for God is not a God of commotion or disorder, but a God of peace. And I'll pause there at that point, and we'll finish off this chapter in the next recording.